Mindy wants Phillip to marry her?
She not only wanted it, she demanded it.
And what about Phillip? Is he considering it?
Of course not.
But, sweetheart, you said he really wants the baby.
He does, and he's not going to give it up. But he doesn't have to marry Mindy. He's a natural father. He's got to have some rights.
Well, of course, she has to grant him some visitation rights.
No, but he wants more than that. He wants the baby to know that he is the father. And that means he has to spend time with it.
Well, what's he going to do exactly, honey?
He's talking to Ross right now to find out what kind of legal action he can take.
Oh, Beth. I mean, legal action is the worst possible thing. It's such a struggle, and it causes so much anger and bitterness fighting over a little child.
I know. But Phillip wants this baby so much that I'm afraid of what he might do to get it.
Oh, Beth, honey, you listen to me, okay? You have to be careful that Phillip's need to fight for this child doesn't become the most important thing in the world to him.
What are you saying?
Well, have you two talked about another wedding date?
Well, I don't even want to think about that till this whole situation with Mindy is resolved.
No, Beth, you're not listening. I mean, what's happening is that this struggle for the child is becoming the whole focal point for him. Isn't this going to tear you and Phillip apart?
No, not if I stand by him. I love him. Mama, he needs to do this.
All right. But at least talk to him about a wedding date, okay?
Mama, I know how hard this is for you. It's hard on everyone. But I think what Phillip is doing is right.
And what about you? I mean, this is just leaving your whole life up in the air.
Well, Mama, it's true that Phillip and I aren't together the way we planned. But that doesn't mean that I can't get on with my life.
How?
Well, I plan to take classes again at the university. And I want to get a part-time job.
Well, can I give you some money, honey, if you
No,
need
Mama. Getting on with my life means doing it on my own. I plan to move into the boarding house, the room that Phillip and I were going to take. You understand?
Yeah. I mean, it's very hard for me to see my little girl all grown up, but ever since you came back from New York, sweetie, I knew it was true. So you just know you can count on me. I'm always going to be here for you, baby.
Thank you. Oh, I'll get it. Oh. So, Mr. Spaulding.
It's my baby, Ross. I love it, and I'm going to raise it, and I'm going to do it with Beth. That's it.
Phillip, slow down.
You know, things are getting a little out of control here. Things are getting out of hand.
Sit down. You're making me nervous. You're turning yourself into a wreck.
Well, you don't seem to understand. Mindy has lost her mind.
We're going to go through this point by point. Now, you say that you and Beth want to raise the baby.
Yes.
Have you talked to Mindy about this?
Yes. That's why she has lost her mind.
What does that mean? Does she want to keep it?
Yeah. You know why?
She wants to raise it herself?
No, she wants to raise it with me. Uh-huh. She wants me to marry her, Ross.
Well, if you were in Mindy's position, that might not sound quite so ridiculous.
I don't buy that. Mindy knows what a mistake it would be for the two of us to get married. She knows I don't love her. She knows it's wrong. That's why I don't have a clue as to why she's doing what she's doing.
Perhaps it's because you're the father of her baby.
She doesn't care about the baby, Ross. She was going to have an abortion.
Mindy, she is young. She's confused about all of this.
Exactly, which is why I don't buy a word that she's saying.
Then try to understand what she's feeling instead, all right?
Ross, I do understand what she's feeling. What about me? You know, I have feelings at stake here, too. She was going to raise the baby as if it weren't even mine. She was going to raise it as though it were Rick's.
I understand this must be rough for you. I'm here to help if you need me.
Well, good, because that's exactly what I want.
All right, you tell me how I can help.
I want to get custody of that child, and I want you to represent me. Jim? Claire?
If we have too many informed people here, news of this is bound to leak out to the press. And that kind of publicity is exactly what Cedars doesn't need for its reputation.
Well, you better brace yourself for the worst, then, because the last thing I'm worried about right now is bad publicity. I'm going to turn this hospital upside down to find that mouse, and if I have to, I'm going to evacuate the damn place.
You can't evacuate Cedars Hospital. Dr. Bauer? Dr. Bauer! It'll put Cedars in the red for months.
I'd rather keep Beth Rain's company any day.
Hello, Mr. Spaulding. I'm sorry I'm late.
I don't believe it, man. Those Spauldings are gonna leave Beth alone.
Well, what's the matter? Don't you want to represent me?
Philip, when I take on a client, I like very much for him to win. And I don't think that's going to happen in your case.
Why? I'm the baby's father, Ross. I've got just as much right to custody as Mindy does.
Yes, but your chances of winning that custody in a court of law are practically nil. In situations like yours, the judge usually rules in favor of the mother.
Why? No, wait a minute. You said usually. Okay, now what do I have to do to get him to rule in my favor?
You would have to prove that it's not in the child's best interest for the mother to raise it.
That's easy. That's no problem. I just tell the judge that Mindy was going to have an abortion and that she told me that she didn't want the baby in the first place.
It is not against the law to have a change of heart, particularly in view of how young Mindy is and all the pressure she's been facing all by herself.
Wait a minute. The bottom line here, Ross, is that Mindy does not want to be a mother, and she's not going to be a good one. She cares too much about herself, okay? And what she wants, what the baby wants and needs, is always going to come second with her.
Philip, can you honestly say that Mindy Lewis would be completely incompetent as a parent?
Obviously, Ross, I cannot say that for sure, but I do know that she can barely take care of herself. How's she going to take care of a little child?
The Lewis family will give Mindy all the support she needs, and the baby won't suffer so much from a lack of attention as it will from too much of attention. The Lewis family will spoil it rotten.
Okay.
But every court in the land could think of worse fates for a little baby.
What are you telling me just to forget about my own child?
I am telling you that unless you can prove that Mindy Lewis is cruel, immoral, and or unbalanced, then you don't have a chance of winning a custody suit. And just going through a custody suit, it's very painful. Things get very unpleasant in an open court.
That's unfair. The man really gets the short end of the stick here, doesn't he? Mm-hmm. That can't be, Ross. That's discrimination.
Well, thousands of men across this country would agree with you, and I have seen cases where it is blatantly unfair. But perhaps I could talk to Mindy and the Lewis family and try to arrange an out-of-court settlement whereby you get generous visitation rights.
Don't waste your time. Lewis family isn't going to give me anything, not without a fight. Made that painfully clear this morning.
All right, after hearing all I've just said, if you still want to fight for custody in court, I will represent you.
Thanks. Not much point if I know I'm not going to win, right?
No, there's not much point.
Well, I'm sorry that I dragged you away from LTA for nothing.
I'm sorry the system is such that I can't be more helpful.
Well, at least I know where I stand now.
So what are you going to do?
Hope for a miracle?